Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? You know, seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey Series. People come to me because they're wounded. Many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey Series. And let's get started, one story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link.
No coffee. I don't get any coffee today. I had to get that in with you like off the rip. Oh my goodness. Yes, it's true. No Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo today. Yes, it's Monday. It's a coffeeless Monday. I only have to deal with it for another hour. Why am I such a baby? Right? It's not even the food part. I have to fast. I have labs. Okay, so it's Monday. We're here. How was your weekend? I did all of, let me see. Did you Christmas shop? I bet you did. Who's finished? Raise your hand. Put it in the comment section. I pride myself, and I have for many a year, in doing all of my shopping, including stocking stuffers, right? Including online, all on one day in a 6-hour period. One window, 6 hours, done. Should have seen me. I was like this, 11:59, go. I hopped in the car, boom, boom, boom. I was gone. I had my music on. This year, the music of choice was on Sirius XM. What's his name? Smokey Robinson has a channel on there. I heard Christmas songs I didn't even know existed. Thank you, Smokey. So anyway, I had a great weekend. How was yours? On a scale of 1 to 10, it better be a 10. Put it in the comments. Welcome to today's installment. No Lucy McGillicuddy. I am in the Christmas week robe. And trust me, if I had remembered that I was wearing this, you could tell it was in the closet, right? It wasn't really. It was hanging back there. All the robes from every year are all hanging up there. And this one was buried. They're like, it's the last week before the new year. I won't be back until the 6th of January. You know, I go every the last and the first weeks of every year, 50 straight weeks. And so this is the week I wear this robe. It has a hood. But I'm kind of clashing. I would have worn something solid, I think. But anyway, we're here. I have a great guest for you today, right? Who loves themselves some PBS? I was a Zoom kid. Had the shirt. I'd put it on every time. Hubby frubby language, all of it. Right. Boston, Mass. 02134. PBS. Oh my goodness. Today's guest has had a show with PBS for a couple of years. Looking to have a third season. The show is called Pedal America. Am I saying it right? I think so. Pedal America. Now, what do you think that is? Yeah. He's cycling. I know. First of all, oh my God. Those bike seats are so hard. That's all I'm going to say about that. I have not seen a machine in the gym yet for your butt crack. I'm just saying. I don't know how they do it, but we're going to find out. Ira David Levy. Is it Levy? Yes. But some people probably say Levy because I just did, but it is Levy. We're going to find out how many times he's had to correct people and how rich he would be if he had gotten a quarter for every one of those. He's a journalist, you guys, right? A real bona fide journalist, born and raised in New York City. Get a rope. Remember that commercial? And he's published lots and lots and lots of newspaper and magazine stories, articles on healthcare, the environment, and outdoor activity. One of my favorite things. He's worked at CNN, yes, CNN, and produced and hosted a national TV series on PBS, which we were just talking about. He earned his MA writing degree from DePaul University and has spent about 24 years teaching journalism and advising student media at the city colleges of Chicago's Wilbur Wright College, Appalachian State University, and Kansas State University. Now, I'm going to just tell you, he's done a lot of things. You'd think he'd be in here talking about, yeah, my TV show, right? This guy is all about his students. He wants to talk about those students, and we're going to. So you guys put some hearts on your screen, would you please? It's our virtual way of saying good morning and welcoming our guest. He's coming down the hallway right now. Here he comes. Ira David. There it is. Ira David is on the way. That's not my fault, right?
Top of the morning.
Now, you know why? Just now I went, David, Ira David, because everything says Ira David, but you typed in David. No Ira. Okay. Right. Wait a minute. So what's going on? Some days you wake up and you feel like Ira David, And then some days you wake up and you just feel like David. Do you ever wake up and you just feel like Ira?
Sometimes I wake up feeling like neither.
I feel, well, as long as you can remember all those names, you're okay. It's when you're wandering around and you don't know that. Might end up in the home. I'm just saying. You're in Chicago, correct?
I am downtown Chicago.
Oh, yeah. So you got the same gloomy kind of thing going on that we do out here in Naperville. We're in the Okay. So listen, what do you want me to call you, refer to you as today? David?
Ira David is perfect.
Okay. All right. Because we're going to show the clip. One of the a clip from your show. We got a little clip, and we're going to show a little bit of that. And you refer to yourself in there. It's Ira David. I didn't want people to get confused. And what I like to do, that's why I didn't read the complete, because you have a lot of accolades, a lot of achievements, a lot of milestones. But the most important thing today is I want to get out of the way for about 60 seconds, if I could, and let you have the stage to kind of just set the tone, set the vibe with the audience. In other words, what's on your heart today when you woke up? You know, what's on your spirit today? And then we'll listen. And I'll come back in and we'll get officially started. Sound okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Take it away.
Yeah.
Stage is all yours.
What's in my heart today? I'll tell you what. It is the gratitude I have.
Oh, there you go.
For all the students that I have worked with for the past 24 or so years. I produce corporate video. Yes, like you said in your introduction, I'm produce television, but I've also spent a lot of my time advising, training students to go out and prepare for their careers in journalism and media. And it has brought me the most joy I've ever had. And for that, I am forever grateful.
Okay, well, great. That was short and sweet. So listen, I want to get, because I want to spend a lot of time talking about the kids, because you're very proud of, and it ties in with the book you're writing. We're going to get to that too. But first, let's go to, okay, so how does one get a show with PBS? How'd you pull that off? Where were you when the light bulb moment hit you? And then what was the first thing you did to start towards that goal?
Yeah, and that's a question I get all the time. So I've been working at the City College of Chicago, and of course I'm a cyclist. I'm gonna go backtrack to all of this for a minute. So it started. I've always ridden my bike, and this started for me, I think, when I was in the 5th grade. Yeah, I was in the 5th grade, and my school, my class was putting on, the class play, and we performed "The Prince Who Would Never Grow Up." And as part of, I had the lead. And
did you now?
I got the lead, and it's in my book, and I tell this story in my book. And I had for my entrance, I had to ride a tricycle on stage, and the whole theater of students, and parents who attended were laughing, and so that's, I think, where it started.
Because you're pretty tall.
I'm 6 feet. And
that's a lot of leg to be trying to cram on a.
Well, I was like 6 feet in the 5th grade, but
Oh, you were in 5th grade?
I was in 5th grade.
Did you get teased for riding a tricycle?
I don't know if I got teased, but everybody laughed when I rode up.
And so you were bitten.
I got hooked.
The applause and the laughter, the act, okay. So did you perform? Were you in like community theater or anything like that through all your years of schooling?
No, later on I did some stuff. But I've always ridden, and I've biked across the United States.
Okay.
Summer of 2002. That was a fundraiser I did. I've biked
from where to where?
Went from Seattle down to San Francisco and zigzagged east to New York City.
San Francisco?
Yeah.
Isn't that hilly?
Yeah, you tell me. Yeah. 4,486 miles. It was a fundraiser for 9/11 that I put together. I was raising college funds for students who had lost parents on 9/11.
That was a nice worthy cause.
So I've done other long distance bike trips with some of my cycling partners. And after advising student media for some time and teaching college, I started to get that 13-year itch. Wanted to go do something back in professional media. So one Sunday afternoon, I took myself to a bookstore. Remember bookstores? Walked into that place.
We still have one here in Naperville. Shout out to Anderson's. I was just there yesterday.
Okay, good. So I went to a bookstore with my journal and I just brainstormed a huge list. Everything I'm good at, everything that I like to do, things I'm not good at, things I don't want to do. And at the end, I wrote a little note, the universe will provide. I shut the book, let it go. About 2 weeks, I'm driving to campus in my car. Remember the Flintstones?
I do.
Remember Kazoo?
Yes. He flew
Remember
around.
Right. But remember he would just pop up out of nowhere?
Yes.
That's what it was like for me when the idea came to me. It's like that Kazoo light bulb moment.
Yeah.
And I was just going to produce a national TV show on bicycling. But I wasn't sure what it was going to look like. Wasn't sure. And one night I'm just sitting at home, maybe a few days after that, and I'm flipping around, channel surfing. And for whatever reason, I stopped on Nickelodeon. And I don't remember the show I was watching. All I remember is someone in set rides a bicycle onto this, onto the screen.
Mhm.
And I don't know if it was a live audience or laugh tracks, whatever, but everyone started laughing. And that brought me back to the 5th grade. I said, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a little boy who rides his bike on TV. Wasn't going to get into the whole spandex and getting out. When I ride with my buddies, we're out there. We're doing anywhere from, that's right. We're doing everything 30 miles.
Is that doing something for you right now?
Yeah, that works. That works. I'm right at home with that. So we do 30 miles to 100 miles. We're wearing our spandex. We're going at a good clip. My show's nothing like
I got
that.
some questions about spandex, right?
Yeah. It's we just wanted to encourage the everyday person to get on a bike.
Okay.
If I can do it, you can do it.
Okay, sure. All right. If you say so. Somebody tricked me into believing that when it came to yoga too.
I'm going to bring my bike out to Naperville.
It did not work.
I'm bringing my bike out to Naperville. We're going to ride. Even if it's a mile.
We have 2 really great mountain bikes, and the tires are flat. It's been so long. I know, and there's like cobwebs. I'm embarrassed, leaves and stuff all underneath the seat. It's horrible.
I'll fill them up for you. I promise.
I love it, but there's a lot that goes with bike riding. You have to know the road rules if you're gonna really do it.
If you want to keep yourself safe, yes.
Yes, and let's talk about these outfits. First of all, unless they had like a layered look right now to be a cyclist, where you could how you tuck it in and pull it out a little bit, so nobody can see your rolls. That's the only way. Because if I put any of this in some lycra or spandex, they taking me to jail. So speaking of spandex, I just got to ask this question. What is the protocol when you put those pants on? For real. I mean, I'm just saying for men. So Bill, you got any tucking tape? I'm saying, what? Well, come on. I always go wait a minute. You can't keep it all out front. It's right there for the world to see. And you can't really put it anywhere else because you're going to sit on it.
I don't think we talk about it that much.
But
we just put on your shorts and go.
Really? I'd have to take a sweater or something tied around me. I'd be so self-conscious.
You can wear baggy shorts
on a beach
over your spandex.
Could you wear Speedos back in the day on the beach?
Sure. I've done it.
I couldn't. The reason I'm saying this, there's a lot of self-consciousness that could stop a person because, and here's another thing. I've seen those people riding that they do it just because they like all the outfits and gear. You see what I'm saying? They ride to the Sparrow coffee shop and home.
You got to match the color of your bike.
That whole outfit. But anyway, so let me ask you this. Seriously, though, what is the number one thing when you're going long distance? Is it that gets sore first? Is it your butt? Is it your feet? Is it your lower back? Is it a combination of all of them or something we could never imagine?
For me today, anyway, it's my lower back.
Lower back.
Used to not be, yeah. But for a lot of people, yeah, it's that seat.
It's that seat. I knew it. I knew it because the ones at the gym, even those stationary, I'm like, ow, right.
You could buy balm, like a cream for it.
No.
Chafing cream, anti-chafing cream. You can, yeah. that we talk about.
I bet they do.
They do. Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. And talk about an athlete when you're doing that. So let me ask you.
Yes, but my show is never about that. Anyone who,
it's about
again,
anybody who rides.
Right.
Well, let's show them a little piece. I got a little piece pulled up, but I want to. Nice. What's the furthest you've ever ridden straight
in one day?
In one day.
Anyway, not including like a 10-minute break. You just mean in one day?
Yeah.
Yeah. 130
feet.
Yeah, we'll keep it at feet.
I can handle that. That's about it. Okay.
30 miles in a day. Yeah.
Well, do you encourage cycling? No, last cycling question before we see the clip. Do you encourage that for any person at any age?
I do. Why not?
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could be low impact. And today, especially if you're a senior with the increased interest in electric bikes, you can really go out, keep yourself active, keep yourself moving with much lower impact.
What's the most you've ever spent or invested on a bike?
2,000.
And they go all the way up to like 10 grand, don't they, or more?
Yes.
I heard that. I was just having this conversation with a guy about a month ago. Let's take a look. Pedal America is the name of the show. And take a look. I just picked a random.
Okay. Excited to see what you picked.
Yes. Let's take a look, you guys.
Tampa, Florida as the 5th best outdoor city in the United States. But if you ask cyclists what they think, well, you might hear something a little different. That's because in 2010, there were 12 bicycle fatalities here in Hillsborough County. But today, I'm going to address those issues as I ride with members of the Seminole Heights Bicycle Club here in Tampa. They believe that bicycles and motor vehicles can safely share the road. I'm Ira David, and this is Pedal America.
Okay. And there it is, Pedal America. And I wanted to, very nice, very nice. Yay. Oh, wait. Oh, there you go. Great job. So I want to know this. You're riding and talking like it's nothing. And I watched part of the episode and you said, here's my good friend. You gave the guy's name, right? And you're turning and talking to him. You better keep your eyes on the road, being hit a pole or something. So where is the camera? Is it like coming out of the back of a car or something?
It depends. I'll tell you, I have such a creative crew. Sometimes they're coming out of the back of a car. Sometimes they are rigging a burley. So I have my director of photography riding a bicycle, and he's dragging a burley that has a camera that's facing us. Yeah, like a flatbed.
That's industry talk, y'all.
Flatbed. You ever see what little parents are, they're biking and they got their kids in the back in a little, cage.
Yeah.
Take all that off. So it's just the flatbed. We set up a camera, we set up, the sound. Nice. And riding. And then on his handlebars, he's got two monitors, so he can see what we're doing.
I see 777 people watching. That's one of my angel numbers. So I got to take a picture of that.
Okay.
So like that. How many people does it take to pull off an average episode of Pedal America? And what's it like, two-part question, what's it like working with the most wonderful people on earth, i.e. PBS?
Oh, yeah. Well, when we travel, we're usually a crew of 7 or 8. And we're usually, all about my my students, wherever they are, even if they're not officially my students in Chicago or
The students.
we always try and pick up interns who I know are, studying television production in every city that we went to, or every township we would pick
Oh,
up
nice.
along the way. Yeah. Give them an opportunity to be on set and learn some things. And so we're usually traveling with about 7 or 8 and pick up an intern or so. And PBS, I'll tell you what, the best. And I work specifically with our presenting PBS station here in Chicago, which is WTTW.
WTTW, shout out.
Those people, on the national side, those people just rock.
Yeah, they do.
They really do.
They really do. So when you first pitched it, was it a slam dunk, or did you have to do a little cajoling?
Well, I'll tell you how it all happened. So this happened while I was still at the City Colleges of Chicago, and we have 7 colleges. One of them is Kennedy King. I was teaching at Wright College, and Kennedy King has a local, their small PBS station. So I actually started with them when I initially pitched it, and they took it on right away. But I quickly, before we even got into production, I started outgrowing that station, and I moved over. I went to WTTW, and they gave me 10 minutes to pitch the show. And I was sitting there in a conference room with about 7 or 8 people on their national side. And an hour and a half later, we were still talking, and they picked it up on the spot.
So what was it you sold them on? I want to ride around different areas of our country doing.
I think it was just our goal was to reach the everyday person. It wasn't just to go out there and ride, but we really wanted to educate people, keep people safe on the roads. We want to tell stories.
Yeah.
We want to tell the stories of what makes a place bicycle friendly, or the story of how they're working, or a location is becoming more bicycle friendly.
Yeah.
Because that's important.
Yes, absolutely, it's important. I didn't realize just how important until I got into that episode that I told you I previewed. It was the Tampa Bay people you were riding with, that bicycle club, and I think they said 10 people that year had lost their lives on the streets of that particular area.
Right.
And what is the main reason? Who is it? Is it the cyclists? Is it the people, us in the cars? What are we doing wrong?
Right. Sometimes it's both. I would say it's the lack of education and tolerance, especially on the driver's part. Drivers do need to be more tolerant in sharing the road. We could take lessons from a number of countries in Europe.
How so?
Well, Europe, a lot of countries in Europe just have a longer history of being tolerant for cyclists. Cycling is part of the culture.
Right. Yeah.
It's not
unusual
long time
for people to grab their bike and ride it here and there.
Right.
I see what you're saying.
And here we're a very fast-paced culture. We want everything now, and we're in our cars, and we want to get there fast. So we need more tolerance. But what's really important is for cyclists to understand that they really need to be educated. I'm a certified League of American Bicyclists, instructor.
You are?
Yeah.
Is your whole family into this?
No.
No?
No, just me.
Did you try to get them? Are you a family man? You're a family man.
Just me.
Just you.
So it's just really, really important for cyclists also to be educated and ride safely and know the rules of the road. Very often when there's a crash, it is because the cyclist is not doing what he or she should properly be doing to keep him or herself safe and to keep motor vehicles safe and their drivers safe as well.
I just have a hunch, but just tell me, do a lot of these collisions take place at intersections?
Yes, most of them do.
I had a feeling that's where I'm most. Are you going, and what am I going? What are we doing here?
Yeah, and there are also quite a number of crashes and collisions that happen, not just the intersections, but because they're in the street riding, but also if you're on the sidewalk. If you're on the sidewalk, a bike moves much more quickly than a pedestrian. Cars are not expecting you to to be rolling off of a sidewalk across the crosswalk. And if you're going and a car is going, they're just not expecting you to do that. And crashes do happen that way too.
Now, are you a member of a club? I know there are a number of them in the city.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not.
Oh.
Yeah, I have affiliations with some of them, but I'm not an official member.
So do any of them ever see you? Hey, you know who that is, don't you? That's Ira David from Pedal America.
I do occasionally get that, and less so now. We haven't been in production for a while, but on occasion, yeah, we're in an airport. If I have my helmet, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's
But
cool.
I will tell you what. Oh, that's all fun, and it's nice, and I have gratitude for that. But the real high for me comes from putting people to work.
In the film industry, media.
Raising the money to go out and do these projects.
Oh, I see.
And putting people to work so they can craft, practice their craft and live their livelihoods, put food on their table, and also for supporting public television programs.
Last question, because I want to get into this stuff. I want you to talk about these great students. But last question, like for instance, when you went to Tampa, how do you put together a good cycling show? How do you know it's going to be interesting? Because it's not like, you're going to get on the bike and know how can you predict what you're going to ride past or what's going to happen while you're riding?
Right. Well, I always had a criteria for the locations that we picked. And that was either, for starters, the location that we would shoot either had to be a bike-friendly location or working toward becoming more bicycle-friendly. And then we would go out and tell that story and how it happened.
Do you know what the most bike-friendly city in America is?
We're living in one of them. Chicago.
Is one of the most bike-friendly?
Yeah, Portland, Oregon was also up there.
What's one of the worst? New York.
Sorry, I know you know what? I don't think so.
Really? Yeah. I don't know how you can ride a bike there.
I've done it. Again, it's education, but the infrastructure for cycling in New York has really changed over the years. Maybe in the 80s, 90s, not so much. But today it's really changed.
If I was riding a bike in New York City and one of those rats came running out, and you know how they do. No offense, New York City, but you shouldn't have all that trash out on the street. And I tell you, I'm going to hit anything in my way getting away from the rat.
That's part of the character of New York. We need those rats.
No, oh, Lord, no. No. Let's go to, you're writing a book currently.
Yeah.
And it is about?
My 26 years of advising student media.
Yes. Advising student media. Have you seen, so why is that so fulfilling to you or for you?
Well, when you're passionate about the First Amendment and, we have in this country, we have this First Amendment that gives us the right to publish, the right to express freely. It's a gift. It's a real gift that we have that most countries don't have. And when you have students who share in that gift, they appreciate that gift and they want to put that gift into practice. You form a very special bond, with those people. And that's part of what drives me. It gives me that thrill to be mentoring them, to show them the way, and give them the opportunity to to learn and prepare them for their careers and to carry the torch forward.
So, are you working with first year students, second year students?
I'm working with first year students, second year, juniors, seniors, grad students.
And so, when they come into which program?
Any program.
Okay.
For a lot of schools, most schools. I mean,
okay.
For most student news organizations, anyone across campus is welcome to come and take part You don't have to be a journalism major.
Okay.
In fact, in every all three schools that I've worked in, I would say maybe half of the students who work in student media were journalism students, because there's so many transferable skills that the students realize that are going to help them in their career. It's not just about the journalism. It's about working as a team. It's about solving problems, taking the lead from something and, turning it into something great. Starting with nothing. You got a hunch, you got a tip. You go out, you explore it, you do research, you talk to people, you write, you're building connections. We have students who are not just journalists, but they're selling advertising. So they're learning how to go out, sell ads, build and maintain relationships. They're in marketing, they're public relations to get the branding out there to the campus and to the public. So it's a lot more than just the journalism, the skills that people are learning. It's all those transferable skills, communication skills, which is a dying art today. And of course, writing as well.
So when they come, it sounds fun.
It is a ton of fun. Hard work. It's hard work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Are a lot of the kids of the student, a lot of these students, are they surprised that it turns out to be something totally different than they expected once they get in?
I think so. Well, I can't speak for all of them, but what I can tell you is there have been many times where we'll have a student who is majoring in math or computer science or architecture or something else. And they thought, well, this is just too darn hard. I'm going to try something like journalism. It'll be easier. And then they come in and they're shocked. It's a different type of hard, but they're shocked that it's not as easy as they thought it would be.
So you said in your bio, it was in the very first line that I am a journalist.
Right.
In your bio.
Storyteller.
Yeah, storyteller. Right. But do you consider yourself a journalist?
Always.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a serious kind of person, a journalist. Because think about it. When I think of a journalist, I think of the person, I don't think of him like me, like just being here doing this stuff. But a journalist is going to go on the front line. They go in, they're the people that get captured. There are journalists all over the world that can't get home from going somewhere to report on something.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm going to stop you right there. You know what? You are asking me questions, trying to get to my story.
You mean the one you're writing?
You're trying to learn about me. You want my story to come out. Exactly. You're practicing journalism skills right now.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes. But it's such a deep, man.
Well,
I just say I have so much respect for great journalists. Okay, let me ask you this. Let's just say from the news journalists of all times, who is your favorite?
Cronkite.
Really?
Of course.
Peter Jennings for me.
Oh, really? Yeah, he's great.
Peter Jennings, who just, I know, I remember Walter Cronkite. I do. But Peter Jennings was just,
and I'll tell you a little
underneath the cover, no matter what was going on in the world, if Peter Jennings was in that chair.
A little lesser known fact about Peter Jennings, and that was every time he was anchoring the news, he would keep a little jar of hot sauce next to him on the desk. You never saw it. Was off camera.
What did he do with it?
Just kept it there. I don't know why. I did my internship at ABC World News Tonight.
Oh, Sydney knows you.
That's when World News Tonight had Peter Jennings, Frank Reynolds, and
Reynolds.
Remember Frank Reynolds?
Yes, I do now.
Yeah, and Max Robinson. They were three co-anchors of World News Tonight back then. That's when I did my internship.
Did you ever want to do news?
Well,
that's what I originally wanted.
In upstate New York, and I worked, at CNN. But not in front of the camera though. But I went back to school to become a better writer, and for my master's degree. And when I got out, I wanted to write things that I wanted to write about, which was, like you said in the intro, outdoor, sport, not organized sports, but cycling, mountain climbing, just, outdoor extreme sport. That was my passion. Skiing, a lot of travel.
So you never worked in a newsroom, though?
Well, at CNN I did.
CNN.
Yeah,
So
and in upstate New York also.
okay, so did they ever send you out on the street?
No, I didn't. I was down in Atlanta.
I already know.
Studio.
They was like, excuse me, you will not be sending me out to that blistery corner.
No, I did that in upstate
nowhere.
I did that stuff in upstate New York.
Hi, I'm Heidi Gilson out here at the Kenosha County Warehouse District, where, as you can see, and then the thing goes by, it's Fraser. No, that is paying your dues in journalism, right?
Well, you got to pay your dues.
Let's talk about that. That is a tough field to rise to the top in. My husband and I, we love Lester Holt, and Lester's a Chicago guy.
Yep.
And his son. We didn't even know that was really his son until like the Olympics. And he was talking about, they started showing him and his dad together. I was like, what? Now it's so obvious. So you never wanted to do news outside of CNN. Why did you
I just wanted to start doing my own thing. I wanted to just start writing my own types of stories, and going out and having a good time. But it wasn't just the sport. When I was,
how do you rate the competitiveness, David?
Pretty
competitive?
Am I competitive?
No, the business of doing what you do. What do you tell your students? Because everybody comes in. Let's talk about that. Young kid comes in. It's like, I want to be famous. I want to be the next Oprah. I want to be the next. I bet you heard that a lot. This, that, and the other. What do you say to them? Because without dashing their dreams, but come on, it's a very tight field.
Sure. And of course, I've had my own, TV show, and the reality is, of all TV show ideas, only about maybe 2 to 3% make it to air. Okay. And so I get a lot of people who even come up to me and say, hey, how do I get a show like where you do what you did? Mm-hmm. And I say, well, you can, but are you willing to do everything that I've done to get it, to make it happen? It's hard work.
How long did it take, David, from start to finish before, you said, I'm going to go pitch this thing, and then boom, got it, and cameras, action? 3 years.
3 years.
Did you ever think you were going to quit?
No, I never do quit.
Oh,
no.
So where do you?
That's the thing. It's a difficult feat to do, and most of it is getting the funding. It's really hard today, and especially the media landscape today is so fractured. It's so splintered. There's so many places where potential funders can put their money that it's tougher to raise the funds today. So it's tougher to get. But it's not impossible. You can do it. So I just tell them, you just do the hard work. And what happens is when someone comes to me, sometimes I'm introduced to someone from a friend and say, hey, I've got this idea for a show. How do you do it? Give them some advice, talk to them for a little bit, tell them, come on out, do those things. Well, come back when you've done these things. Let me know where you are. I'll help you through the next step. And very often I don't hear from them again because they didn't do that first. They didn't do what they said. Well, so they didn't do it, but they realized quickly how tough it is.
So what is the first step? A treatment?
A treatment. Yeah, I would say a treatment, a trailer, putting that together that you can pitch.
That's that ADHD at work. I got 100 questions zooming around, but I want to stay kind of on track. So
what? But I always encourage my students to follow their dreams, follow their passions. because
What do what do most of them
pure
come
life.
in wanting to do? What talk about some of the things that say, oh, I'm going to do this or I want to do
Sure.
that.
Yeah, I want to be a reporter. I want to do journalism. I want to practice. I want to work for a digital, and print newspaper, or I want to be in front of the camera, or I want to be a news director. For most of them, they start off wanting to be in front of the camera as a reporter, and do that.
Do you see any kids come in, David, that still want to be newspaper reporters?
Yes.
That's really.
Yeah.
I'd be scared to be one because how
Sure.
long are they going to have papers?
Well, that's part of it's part of the problem, but it's also part of the solution. So
here we go.
Yeah. So I say in the past, it's in my book too, but in the past 5 to 7 years in the United States, we've lost about 1,800 print newspapers.
Right.
Yeah. Most of them in small rural towns that no longer have the resources to publish. And so we have a lot of what we call news deserts. And of course, access to factually correct information in its proper context is critical for sustaining democracy and critical, for people to get their voices heard. And so it's a problem. And so when you look at that problem, it's easy to think, well, where are the jobs? I'm studying journalism. Where am I going to get work?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of digital opportunities that can be created, and there are student-run news organizations today that are starting. A lot of our biggest and best universities are in small towns. They're in more remote places, not all in the big cities.
Right.
And so a lot of universities, student-run news organizations at universities, are starting to fill in those gaps, and they're providing news and information. And they're starting independent newspapers or news operations for those small towns. So there's a lot of student journalists are learning to, fill in those news deserts, and it's an important foundation for us to have. There's a lot of really amazing stuff that's going on at student media across the country.
That's very encouraging.
It's encouraging.
It's very encouraging.
It's encouraging. And our young people today, it's so easy to just point to young people and say, oh, they don't know anything. They know a lot. They know a lot. And they're learning along the way. But I'm very hopeful. I'm very hopeful.
What was the question I was going to ask you? Oh, do you remember where you were the first time you heard the term fake news?
I don't remember exactly where I was when I heard that.
Is it a real thing, in your opinion?
It's an oxymoron, if you ask me. Just like the term alternative facts. The last time I checked, 1 + 1 is still
2.
It's not 3, right? I don't. Those things. Those are. People like to spin it. I'm going to take the number.
Wikipedia started a lot of that.
Number 1, and then put number 1 next to it. 1 + 1 = 11. Well, if you want to spin it that way, or 2 + 2 is 22.
Yeah.
I don't
22.
think so. Yeah. 2 + 2 is 4. 1 + 1 is 2. There's no such thing as alternative facts.
Well, the reason I bring that up is because I remember when I was a kid and we were talking about people like Walter Cronkite and Peter Jennings and the such, and it really didn't matter if you were watching the 3. There was no Fox back then, so there was CBS, ABC, and NBC. But you trusted the journalists. You trusted the work.
Right.
Now it's like, oh, that's a Democratic Party platform. That's a Republican Party platform. And I can't keep them straight. So I just block them all out.
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm like, is that the one or is that? Well,
I think, first of all, I think part of it is, some of it's perception. it is true that those of us who work in media have, a passion for the First Amendment and tend to be a little more, liberal in thinking. So it's easy to recognize, or have the perception that, one media, outlet is, more liberal than another. But I think today in this world of pundits, we've kind of gotten away from a lot of what journalists, should be. And now that we also have, I'm not saying this, analysis is a very important part of journalism. It helps bring meaning and understanding to, to our country. But what has happened, I think, is with the onset of cable and digital, you have these, and conservative, talk radio, you have the pundits, and we're getting away from news. And there's a difference between news and views, and a lot of people out there that don't know the difference.
Is it a little more challenging now, in your opinion, David, to work with students as opposed to 25 years ago when you started?
It's getting more challenging to keep up with debunking. I'm a progressive. I think, media, training my students to be online, digital first today. Yes. Yeah. Yep. News consumers are consuming news differently than they did when we were growing up. You have to make sure that students are being relevant in their skill set when they come out of programs, so they're marketable for getting hired. But also making sure that we're keeping those traditional journalism ethics and skills intact.
Perfect place for this question.
Yeah, because there's so much information, misinformation, disinformation, and people don't know the difference.
Okay, so here it is. So, what have you seen? Are your kids running to the? Oh, I was just going to ask ChatGPT, because fact checking used to be all of it. That's what it took to get something printed, or we're going to use that story, run it, everything checked out. So do you just run to the AI now and let it do the fact checking? Or
no, I don't. That's not what I prescribe.
But do you think there are those who do?
I think there are some really worthwhile uses for AI in a newsroom, not for fact checking.
Not for fact checking.
No. You've got, there's a difference. I'm very proud of my students, because my students, they learn the importance of going after truth and factual correctness, because those two are not always the same thing, and the proper context within which facts, live.
Sure.
And that is the one thing that I take a lot of pride in making sure that my students are dedicated to that part of the process.
What's the name of your book? Have you named it yet? Or I know it's in your.
I do have a name for it.
You do? Do tell.
Congress shall make no law, and neither shall the student media advisor. And then my tag, training the future defenders of democracy.
Ooh. That sounds like I can see the smoke coming off that one.
You can see the smoke coming off of that one. I am having so much, I get so much joy from writing it. I am still close friends with so many of my students from when I first started this work.
I believe that.
Oh yeah. And I stay in close contact with them. And the story, the book pays attention to why the work the students do across the country in student media is so vitally important to our country. We talk about, court cases that involve student press along the way, but the book is littered with endearing, heartwarming, and hilarious stories of experiences.
When do you plan on releasing it, David?
I don't have a date yet. I'm still About 200. I'm 260 pages in. I've got
So by this time next Christmas, could we be stuffing a stocking with it?
I hope so.
There you go. You got to come back and let us know when it's available so you can read a little from it, share with us, and we can all get our copy. Is that a deal?
Deal.
Okay. Last question. What is it that you hope one day changes through the work you're doing with these students? What do you encourage them to make right? In other words, if it had to be a call like clean up aisle 7, what is it you'd like them to? You see what I mean? Because I know you see it. I know you have your fingers on that pulse. What would you say, David?
I just want to make sure that our, First Amendment rights remain intact.
First Amendment rights.
It's really, and it's tenuous these days.
Absolutely.
But that we understand, and that young people today understand, because they're the leaders. So they're the ones who have to clean up aisle 7.
Yeah.
Right. That understand that there is a big difference between, facts, alternative facts, disinformation. Go out, just check it out, because this content, this information that's all getting out there, it impacts your lives. It's going to impact the future of your country and your life in your world.
Hey, you got to invite me to come sit in the back of one of your classes sometime. And I would love to be a fly on the wall.
I'm going to invite you to do that. I'm going to invite you to come out and ride with us next season.
Oh, no, not going to happen. No, sir. Absolutely. Ooh, my thighs and butt started hurting the minute you said it. No. Oh, no. Classroom audit, I'm there. Okay. That bike thing, well, never say never. I have to put a pillow. I'm going to tell you now that I'll be riding like this because, man, whoo, I just think it's great. All the work you're doing. Congratulations on the book. Kudos, hats off on the show, and looking forward to when you lock down all that great funding we know you're going to get for your 3rd season of Peddle America. You guys, there he is, Ira David Levy, and you can get him over on LinkedIn or also over here on his Facebook. We're going to take the liberty of dropping all of the connectors for David inside of your chat, your comment section immediately now as we get out of here after today's broadcast. I just want to thank you. And thank you. I look forward to hearing great things. I connected you with a couple of friends of mine. They're saying great things about you. I'd love to see if you guys can make something happen. Thank you so much. Listen, you're welcome back anytime. If you see any students in the hallway or in your classroom that you want to get on the show, you send them my way for sure.
Will do.
Okay. All right. You guys, thank you. And thank you, David. Listen, get out of here, you guys. Go find just a little piece of your higher self today, won't you? Go from great to greater, bright to brighter, strong to stronger, bold to bolder. Or you could take my personal favorite, kind to kinder. Listen, I'm Dr. Lauren. I want you to go out and change the world one person at a time. And God willing, I'll meet you tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Central, over on the front porch, where together we can have yet another illuminated conversation. Now, don't you dare let my screen door slam on the way out. And remember, Dr. Lauren tells you every day, I love you. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, David. Bye-bye now. Bye, everybody.
Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Side